friends, welcome back to my channel Explore with Christine. Today we're going to be taking some Q&A questions frequently asked by parents and teachers. Let's dive into it together. Okay, so the first question says, isn't Montessori education only for elites? No, no, no. Montessori education isn't just for elites, it isn't just for the rich. Montessori education is for everyone. Every child needs to have a feel and an experience in the Montessori education. This doesn't need to mean that the child is going to a Montessori school per se, for parents that cannot afford. For that to happen, for the children to have the Montessori feel, they need to be around educators, around teachers that are well learned, teachers that are experienced in their fields, teachers that know the various diversity of children and how to meet these needs. So when this is done, you're already imbibing Montessori into your learning, because you still make sure that your children watch videos. You make sure that, you bring something, you want to introduce something to the class, you bring something. So as long as you are not making your teaching traditional about the teacher, you are imbibing Montessori into it. Okay, so the next question I'm going to take is, in Montessori, you should never tell a child what to do or not what to do. So how do you correct and direct the child? Okay, so with Montessori, we believe that the children coming into the environment, yes, first of all, they are everywhere, they are not normalized. But through normalization, the children know what to do. They themselves set rules and regulations for the class. So after setting these rules and regulations, it takes a while, but with continuity, the children are able to know and point out that, we do not do this in our class. We do not do that. This is what we do. So Montessori, actually, with the help of the materials and also the rule sets, the children already have a forward goal which they themselves achieve by themselves. Okay, so another question says, what are children's primary social needs and how are they best met? Okay, so for children, we know it's very good for them to have good nutrition. Even from conception, yes. Mothers have to make sure that they are taking the right meals, they are not going overboard with drugs, they are doing what's right. So when the child is born, you need to make sure that the child has good nutrition. He eats healthy, balanced diets to make his brain sharp and more effective. And also, children need security. That's also a primary social need. They need security. They need to be safe. They need to be around people that care about them. They need effective caregivers. Children need to have effective caregivers around them that will mold their life. After all, we all know that these children are the leaders of tomorrow. So for us to have a better tomorrow, we need to make sure that they are taken first, or they are priority on our list. Okay, so another question says, is Montessori method beneficial for parents? Yes, of course, Montessori is beneficial for parents because through the Montessori, one of the core areas are practical life activities. In a home is a place for practical life. A home is a place where children wash, children clean, children do all sorts of things. And in the Montessori environment, all these things are already prepared for children to explore. So a child that has gone through the Montessori method, through the activities, would not come home and do something else. That child will make sure that everything is done appropriately and is well coordinated and in order. So for parents, that will be a plus for you because your child is already a superstar. Okay, so another question says, how can Montessori teachers meet the needs of so many different children? Yes, we know in our classrooms we have so many type of children, learning styles. We have the auditory learners, we have the kinesthetic learners, we have the visual learners. Yes, we have some that are the two, we have some that just stick to one. But if you want to meet the needs of every child in your class, that means you must be prepared. You must be prepared to teach and impart knowledge in every one of them. You know you have a kinesthetic learner, make sure that you have everything that child is going to feel. If you're teaching about nature, make sure you bring whatever you're teaching to class. For the children that like to listen, make sure you have videos. Prepare videos for your classes. For those that like to see, you make sure that you have pictures. Make sure you have real life objects for these children to be able to see, because that's the only way or method at which they can develop and easily grasp what you're teaching. Okay, so another question says, what does normalization mean? Is Montessori right for all children? Okay, so let me first take it gradually. So what does normalization mean? Normalization is when a child has gotten to the point where he or she knows what to do. He or she is coordinated. He or she knows the right things to do. A normalized child knows that when I get to school, the first thing I do is to greet my teachers. From there, I take my bags to the shelf. If I want to work with a material, I make sure that I complete my work cycle. I don't pick up materials in any harsh manner. I don't bang materials. When I finish up with a material, I put it back nicely. That is a normalized child. He knows every step he needs to take in his own development, and he follows that path through the help of a stable-minded parent or a wonderful and experienced caregiver. So that's a normalized child. Is Montessori right for all children? Yes, I've said it before in the previous question about is Montessori just for only elites? Montessori is for all children. Actually, Montessori was specially designed for children with special needs and disabilities, but through Montessori's work, she noticed that if these children can actually develop from this, then why can't I bring it into schools for normal children? And it actually really helped them. So Montessori is for all children, even for university pupils. Yes, Montessori can also be imbibed there through actually the methods at which the teaching takes place. Now, is Montessori opposed to, okay, I don't really get that question. Let me take my last question, or maybe two. How are children best intellectually challenged and stimulated? How are children best intellectually challenged? Intellectual has to do with the brain. It has to do with their psychic. How do we build children's psychic? By giving them the opportunity to be able to explore. Through critical thinking, we do not have to think for these children. These children can think. Actually, from birth, from conception, a child's brain is already actually formed to an extent. So these children can think. We should give them the chance to be able to think on their own critically. We should give them chance for collaborations in class. We do not have to spoon feed these children. We have to open them to all the possibilities out there for them to be able to think and come up with something for themselves. So that's how we can help a child intellectually and also stimulate him or her. So, okay, another question, the last question I'll be taking. How would my child adjust to traditional school after being in a Montessori school? Actually, this is not really hard because we know Montessori education is an education of a lifetime. A child that has passed through the Montessori education has passed through the practical life, sensorial, has passed through cultural, has passed through numeracy and literacy, that child will not come out and be otherwise. Montessori education is an education of a lifetime. You are educating the child for the future. So a child that has passed through Montessori going to a traditional school would even be more better than children that have just been in the traditional school. Okay, so I think I would like to end here. I like to end here. I think I might have answered most of your question. If I have not, then I will try to do that later. Or if you have any question you want to ask me, you can put it in the comment section down below and I will sure answer your question. Thank you for sticking around with me once again. I really enjoyed my time with you. This is a returning subscriber. Thank you. Thumbs up to you. Now I would like you to like my videos, comments down below, and subscribe as well as share my videos. Explore with Christine, learning meets fun.